the show. Call the cards right and take the dough on Card Sharks. And here's the host of Card Sharks, Jim Perry.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome. Nice to have you here with us. Thank you very much. You're most kind. Thank you. A terrific poem, and the poems are getting so good from you at home, we may never have to listen to another Gene Wood poem. That's nice. That was from Lila Falco of Vilas, New Jersey. Thank you, Lila, for sending that poem in. We're in the middle of a very exciting match. Each player has one game. We are playing the tiebreaker. We're in the middle of that, so let's get to the cards. Dennis and Ann, if you will, load in the cards, please. And we'll meet these fine players on Card Sharks. Hi, Carol Phillips. Nice to see you again.
Great to see you.
You're looking well. You're in a nice dress today instead of the slacks you usually wear. That's nice.
I know. I hope it's luckier.
You're doing very well. You have won $2,525 in cash. And our challenger is Will Myers. Hi, Will.
Hi, Jim.
Good to see you again. You've got a game, of course, in $100. But it's nice if you get that one, right? Get a little money in the pocket. And you teach at a university.
Yes, sir. UCLA.
What is it? An ROTC course that you teach?
An ROTC. I teach the seniors management course, and I also teach celestial navigation.
Oh, I don't even know where the North Star is. I'd like to learn that sometime, Will.
Slightly north.
Slightly north. Good. Good luck to both of you. Each player has a deck of 52 playing cards, shuffled and cut before we go on the air. And Carol will play the upper cards, the red cards. The challenger will, the lower cards, the blue cards. As I said, we're in the tiebreaker, and as you can see, both players have a very good base card. Carol a king, Will an ace. But before you can play those cards, you must win a high-low toss-up question and control of that board. Very important right now. With those good base cards, it might just take one question to do it. As we left off, Will, the question goes to you. We asked 100 men. Now, be honest. Oh, look at this. How's this for a question for a Navy man? If you were on a sinking ship, that's the question. Would you really let all the women get in the lifeboats first? How many men said, yeah, they'd let all the women get in the lifeboats first?
Well, since I only go on Navy vessels, we don't have many women yet.
Ah.
I'd say that probably 75 of the men would say that.
75 said, yeah, they'd let the women get in the lifeboats first, Carol. Higher or lower?
This is really hard to say, but with the male ego nowadays, I really think that more men would say that it's got to be higher. They would.
You think they would do
I think they would say it. They may not really do it.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Yes, they're not on the ship when they say it, right? Well, the actual number of men who claim they really would let all the women get in the lifeboats first is 53. Higher. Will.
Hey!
Will, you've got a great base card, an ace.
I think the next one might be a little bit lower.
I know you want to play the ace lower than an ace. It is an 8. Now, big decision. Right up the middle with an 8. You need one card. Do you want to freeze or you want to try it?
The next card is higher.
You're going to go for it. If this is higher than an 8, we have a new champion. If not, Carol still has a shot at it for the win. Higher than an 8? No! It's lower. It's a 5. Carol, you get a chance to play off the king and call this card. You can't change it. You didn't win the question.
I don't want to. We'll go lower.
Lower than a king. A 7, and you've got a tough decision with a middle card.
I'll have to go higher, Jim.
You're going to try it for the win, higher than a 7. She did it with a jack. Wow. A hard-fought victory. That was a sensational match, Will.
Thank you, Jim.
Nice meeting you. Of course, we have some nice parting gifts and the $100 in cash. Thanks for being here, Will.
Thank you.
Come on down, Carol. Boy, you find a way to pull it out against tough challengers.
Oh, I try to.
She's going to play the money cards where she can win thousands of dollars right after we take time out to pay a few bills. Don't go away. Carol Phillips are rooting you on. This is your 4th try at the money cards, and you haven't done too well up to now.
We will this time. We've got to think positive.
That's the way to feel. Let's get to those money cards right now. Come on, Carol. Let's do it. Carol, you just won $200 in the game. Yours to keep. We won't take that away from you. Now we're going to give you new money to play with, and this time you're going to bet that money. Starting on the bottom line, we'll give you $200 and these 3 cards. When you move up to the second level, we add another $200 of betting money, 3 more cards. Your minimum bets are $50 until you get to the top card, the big bet. There you must bet at least half the money. Let's do it. $200.
Let's go.
And your first base card, I hope you don't need any more, is a jack. You want to play that?
That's a good card, yes. I'll bet $200 that the next card is lower.
Right away, betting it all. $200. Lower than a jack. No. Oh, that bottom line always seems to do you in, but you're not dead yet because that king goes up to the next level where we add the $200 of betting money there. You're back in it with $200.
I'll bet the whole $200 that the next card is lower.
$200 lower than a king. Yeah, very much lower, a 3. $400 with a 3.
We'll bet the whole $400 that the next card is higher.
And remember,
Higher.
there's no more money to add. It's all up to you now, all or nothing.
It's gotta be
$400, higher than a 3. Oh, yes, and very much higher with a queen. $800 and a queen, Carol.
Queens haven't been lucky to me, but they have to be now, so I'm going to bet it all that the next card is lower. Please.
$800. Lower than a queen? Yes, a 10. $1,600. Boy, you made a great comeback, Carol. We move the 10 up. You must bet at least $800. You can bet more. You have $1,600 and a 10. Carol, what's your big bet?
I really don't like tens, so I'll bet, oh heck, I'm going to bet 1,000 of it that it's lower. That it's lower.
$1,000. $1,000 bet lower than a 10? No, it's a queen. Ah, but you held some back, and again, by a few $100s, Carol, you win some money. $600. Come on, Carol. Doggone it. It's always that one card that does it. But Carol just inches along, and she's up to $3,225 by inches. We'll be right back, right after this. Back with our champion. Carol, $3,225.
That's terrific.
Paid for that trip and paid for the car repair, right?
I hope so.
Okay, Carol, try to defend that title right now as we load in 2 brand new decks of cards and meet our next challenger on Card Sharks. Marie Smith. Hello, Marie. Welcome.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Why don't you tell us about yourself?
Right, my name's Marie Smith. I live in Huntington Beach, and I'm a principal in the all-American city of La Habra, California.
Are you a little nervous, Marie?
Just a tish.
Don't be.
Never happened before.
Let me hold your hand here.
I appreciate it.
La Habra?
La Habra, all-American city.
Why is it called the All-American City?
They interviewed the people and took a look at the community participation, and they decided it was ideal community.
Oh, you're very strong, Marie. You're very strong. Good luck in the match. Relax. You're among friends. And Marie will play the lower cards, the blue cards. Carol plays the upper cards, the red cards. Carol, we asked 100 men a ridiculous question. I'm always afraid of what comes after that when we preface it that way. Let's find out. Oh, this makes sense. If an Arab sheik offered you $10 million for your wife, would you sell her? How many men said they would sell their wives?
Oh, that's a really hard question. I would really hope that not very many men would sell their wives. I'll have to say, nowadays, I'll say 15 would.
15 for $10 million would sell their wife.
I'm going to count on Rob to win out. I'm going to say it's lower.
You say lower.
Rob will win out.
I know some men that wouldn't even take that much. Let's find out. The actual number of men who would sell their wives for $10 million is 34. It's not lower. I guess they figured they could buy them back for less. Carol, would you, your base card? It's a 9. Do you want it?
No, let's change that 9.
You've got to play this one. A 10. Better card.
A little bit better. We'll go lower.
Lower than a 10. No, it's a queen. You're right. Those 10s don't do you any good, Carol. A break for Marie, who gets to play a 7. Can't change it.
Okay, I'm going to take higher.
Higher than a 7? Yes, it's a 10.
I'm going to freeze right there.
And we move over the freeze bar. You've got that 1-card lead as we fill in the space. Marie, your first question. And I mentioned before, we polled some U.S. congressmen. I think it's great that they helped us out. We asked 100 United States congressmen in Washington, D.C., do you think homosexuals should be allowed to teach grade school students? How many congressmen said homosexuals should be allowed to teach grade school students?
Oh, might be election year. I think that would be pretty unpopular. I'm going to say 20.
20. Carol, higher or lower?
20 congressmen? I mean, I would say, oh, I don't think, I'll have to say higher.
You say higher.
Something tells me higher.
The actual number of congressmen who said homosexuals should be allowed to teach grade school students is 45. It's higher, Carol. And what do you want to do with that 10, Carol?
Let's change it, please.
See if we can improve it. No, right up the middle with an 8.
Lower.
Lower than an 8. It is lower, a 4.
I like that 4. We'll go higher.
Higher than a 4. Yes, with a
Great
big 8.
card. Lower.
Lower than an ace. Very much lower with a 4.
I like 4s. We'll go higher.
Gonna try for the win. Higher than a 4. She did it with another ace. Wow. Let's set up for the next game, Janice. Well, very nicely done in game number 1 to Carol with $100. And as we often mention, as we set up the same 2 decks of cards. So if you can remember those cards that are played, it might help your play. Carol, we asked 100 women. If you learned that your favorite political candidate was cheating on his wife, would you vote for him anyway? How many women said yes, they would vote for him?
Oh, boy. I would say that he would be dishonest if he was cheating on his wife, and I think a lot of women realize that. I would say it'd have to be pretty low. I'll say 25 would still vote for him.
25 would vote for him anyway, Marie.
I think they're going to have in their mind his legislative ability instead of his marital status, okay? So I'm going to say it's higher.
Higher. The actual number of women who would vote for a candidate, even if he were cheating on his wife, is 53. Marie, it's higher. You're right. Marie, you're trailing. You need this game. You start with a 3.
Great. Stick with it and go higher.
Higher than a 3. Yes, very much higher, a queen.
Go lower.
Lower than a queen, a 7.
A freeze.
Freezing as Marie needs just 2 cards to tie up the match. And the question to you, Marie, our man on the street stopped 100 people waiting in line at New York's Radio City Music Hall. And he asked them to rub their stomachs while patting their heads. You remember that old exercise? How many were able to do it?
Oh, I never did master that one myself, so in front of a whole crowd, I really wouldn't want to try it. I'll say 37.
37 could rub their stomachs and pat their heads, Carol.
I think a lot of people are more coordinated than that. We'll go higher.
You say higher. You think
Yes.
some are more coordinated.
Yeah.
Questions should have been how many punched him in the nose for making them do it. The actual number of people who could rub their stomachs while patting their heads is 64. It's higher, Carol. They are more coordinated. And your base card is a 3 as well.
We like those cards. We'll go higher.
Higher than a 3. It's a queen. Look at that. 3, 3, queen, queen. Wow.
Lower and no 7.
Lower than a queen. A 2, very much lower.
I don't believe it's higher.
Higher than a 2. There's another 8.
Lower.
For the win. Yes, with a jack, and she did it. My goodness. Those cards are starting to like you, Carol. Marie, I don't think you had a chance. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us, Marie Smith. Come on, Carol. Boy, I hope that luck carries over. That's the way to feel. We'll be right back right after this. All right, Carol. Doggone it. We all want you to do it now. Deal out the money cards. Our lovely Ann will deal those cards out brilliantly. 3 of them on the bottom line. Don't bite your tongue, Ann. It's very bad for you. 3 cards on the second level, and again, we add another $200. Big decision on the big bet where you've got to bet at least half the money. Come on, Carol, $200. Let's do it this time. And we'll start with a king. Oh, good stuff.
Great card. We'll bet the whole 200 that it's lower.
Let's get
It
past
has
it this
to
time.
be.
$200, lower than a king.
Yes.
And very much lower with a 5. $400, Carol.
I really don't like 5s. I'm only going to bet 200 that the next card is higher.
You really don't like him, so you got to bet half the money, huh? Okay.
Well, at least I'll have some.
I hope you're right. $200 higher than a 5. No, it's a 3. Down to 200, but you've got a good card there, the 3.
I'll bet the whole 200 that the next card is higher.
Now, this is the card that's been doing you in, Carol. Let's
sure
do it.
is.
$200, higher than a 3. It is a 4, okay. And a good card, the 4, moves up here where we add the other $200, Carol. $600 and a 4.
I'm going to bet $500 that the next card is higher.
$500. Higher than a 4. Yeah, with a 10. Now you're up to the 4-figure mark. You've got $1,100 and you're looking at that card. You don't like the 10.
I really don't like 10s. I'll bet $100 that the next card is lower.
All right. Get rid of that 10 you don't like. $100 lower than a 10, and it is with a 6. $1,200 and a 6, Carol.
We'll bet $100 that the next card is higher.
Let's see if we can get a face card. $100 higher than a 6. No, it's a 5, but it's a better card to move up for the big bet. You've got a 5. You must bet $550, Carol. You can bet more. You have $1,100 and a 5, Carol. What's your big bet?
I'm bound to win, and there's only one face card up. I'll bet $1,000 that the next card is higher. Higher.
$1,000 bet on this card higher than a 5, and it is! That's nice. Come on down here, Carol. That's terrific. Carol, you stopped inching. You did a little better that time. $5,525 for Carol Phillips. And a new challenger coming up right after this. And Carol's going to defend the championship now as Janice loads in 2 brand new decks of cards. Here's our next challenger on Card Shark. Terry Blackman. Hi, Terry. Nice to meet you. Won't you tell us about yourself?
My name is Terry Blackman. I'm originally from Yellow Springs, Ohio. It's in the Midwest. I attend Earlham College. I'm a senior there. And my family and I live in Carson, California. We just moved here last September.
Ohio's in the Midwest, Terry?
Sort of.
Good to have you here, Terry. Good luck. You'll play the lower cards, the blue cards. Carol plays the upper cards, the red cards. And we start with a question to you, Carol. We asked 100 men if you were invited to Hugh Hefner's Playboy Mansion and the White House on the same night, which invitation would you accept? How many men said they'd accept the invitation to the Playboy Mansion?
I would think a lot of men would want to go to the mansion. I would have to say that 85 would go to Hugh Hefner.
85 prefer the Playboy Mansion to the White House, Terry. What do you think, higher or lower, Terry?
I'm gonna say it's a little bit lower, because although the Playboy Mansion is kind of tempting, the White House is a bit more distinguished, I think, you know.
Okay. The actual number of men who would rather spend the evening at the Playboy Mansion than the White House is 64. It's lower, Terry. And your base card, Terry, is a queen.
A great card. I want to keep it, and I want to go lower, please.
Lower than a queen.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
with a 5.
I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna say it's higher. It's gonna be a face.
Higher than a 5.
Oh,
Yeah, with a jack.
I'm gonna keep it, and I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna say it's lower.
Lower
Please
than a
be
jack.
lower, please.
No, Terry. And that's the chance you take. You lost all 3 of them. Carol, you're playing a queen.
Great card, lower.
Lower than a queen. It's an 8.
We'll freeze.
Freezing it right there, and we'll fill in the spaces for Terry and go to the next question to you, Terry. We asked 100 pregnant women, have you smoked a cigarette today? How many pregnant women said they had?
Well, I'm sure they haven't decided whether or not it really affects a pregnancy, but on the other hand, if you're addicted and you're a chain smoker, I'm going to say 31.
31 had a cigarette. Pregnant women, Carol.
I still think a lot of women smoke. I have to say it's higher.
Higher than that?
Yes.
The actual number of pregnant women who said they had smoked a cigarette today is 20. It's not higher, Terry. Terry, do you want that queen?
Yes, I want it. And I want to say it's lower.
Lower than a queen?
Lower.
And a 3 very much lower.
I'm going to keep that, too. I love that card. I'm going to say it's higher.
Higher than a 3? Oh, no, another 3. It's not higher. Carol, a break for you to play off the 8 and call this.
Higher.
Higher than an 8. It is. It's a jack.
We'll go lower.
Lower than a jack. It is with a 6.
Higher.
You're going to go for it. For the first game of the match, higher than a 6? No, it's a 5. She could not do it. And we'll fill in the spaces as no one could advance right there. Wow. We're off to a great start with you two ladies, and the question's going to go to you, Carol, when next we meet. But right now, it is time for us to say goodbye. Thank you for joining us, as always. Without you, we're nothing. Join us next time on Card Shark. Bye-bye.
A representative of the studio audience will receive an Angel's Flight wardrobe of pants, vests, and blazers. The youthful silhouette that started the disco looks slim, snug, sexy. Angel's Flight, furnished by Tobias Kotzen Company. And some of our contestants will receive a True Test 8-gallon shop vac from True Value Hardware Stores, who combine value and personal service in over 5,000 locations nationwide. And Town & Country tableware by Washington Forge. Beautiful Fleetwood handles and Mirror Bright stainless steel dishwasher safe from Washington Forge. And enjoy reading outstanding paperback books from Fawcett, including Summer Story, a beautiful tale of love and a boy's journey into manhood. And the boutique gift set from Miss Breck, America's leading aerosol hairspray. When your hair's the way you want it, keep it that way with Miss Breck. This is Gene Wood speaking for Card Sharks, a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.